Hi yogis, welcome to my dining room. My name is Alyson with Nava Yoga and I'm excited to be bringing you another yoga class here today. Recently I noticed that my to-do list seems a little bit upside down. Whereas before I may have been preparing for, say, a friend's wedding, last weekend I scrubbed the rust stain off my bathtub. So exciting stuff, right? Really know how to party there. Baking soda and vinegar works wonders, believe it or not. But yeah, so things feel a little bit upside down, things feel twisted, backwards. And in spite of that, because of that, we'll play a little bit with that today in our yoga practice. It's kind of some poses that bring us upside down, a little bit of twists, and there's, backwards, I guess, just kind of goes along with that. But yeah, some of those upside down twists. One thing I wanted to share with you is kind of the technical definition, if there is such a thing, for an inversion in a yoga practice, as I've learned it, has always been anytime your head is below your heart. So that means poses like downward facing dog, some of our forward folds, are all count as inversions. We're gonna focus more on that end of the spectrum, really because that's what's most appropriate in this forum. I can't see you guys, see what you're doing, and kind of troubleshoot or offer any assistance there. So we'll stick with some more familiar, let's go with more familiar inversions that we do day in, day out, and add a little twist. All right, so on that note, let's start with a comfortable seated position. So any comfortable seated position here will work. I always like to kind of move and shift and move the flesh out from underneath my hips. There's a little more these days. Get comfortable. Find a good solid seat here, and then shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Slide them down on your back. And let's do a little bit of neck roll. So bring your chin towards your chest, and then bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. Bring your face up, back, and around right ear to right shoulder. And chin to center. So do a few more like that. I've been noticing the more I try to work from my couch, the more tight and misaligned everything becomes in my neck and in my shoulders. And then go the other way. So reverse the roll. Do one more. Then when you're ready, bring your head back up to center. Again, slide your shoulders up towards your ears and bring them down onto your back. Draw your belly in slightly and lift through the center of your chest. So you want to make your spine long and straight here. Then breathe. Simply take notice. Notice how that breath flows in and out through your nose. And we'll try to keep this awareness on the simple breath as we move and twist and fold in our yoga practice here today. And when you're ready, I invite you to close your eyes and bring your palms together. We'll mark the beginning of our practice with the sound of one Om. I invite you to sing along or listen and receive. Start with an inhale. All right. Go ahead and gently blink your eyes open and then come onto your hands and your knees. So we'll first sit up on all fours. Check in with your wrists, make sure they're underneath your shoulders and spread your fingers wide. Then check in with your knees, make sure they're underneath your hips and about hips distance apart. Let's start with a few rounds of cat and cow pose. So drop your belly, arch your back, look up. And then do the opposite, round your spine, press the mat away, gaze back towards your belly button. Alternate through these two here, right? They kind of work as opposites. And really bringing a little bit of movement, gentle movement in through the spine, right? So I mentioned that. It's kind of become especially critical for me now that mindful of what's going on in my shoulders and in my neck, especially the spine as well. So do one more round here. Then come to a neutral spine, so make your back neither arched nor rounded. Start with the right arm. So lift your right arm up, and then you're going to bring your right hand underneath your, or really behind your left arm, and bring your right shoulder, right ear down to the mat in this kind of thread and needle pose. breathe here. On your next inhale, come on out. Switch sides. So lift your left arm up, bring your left arm behind your right, bring your left shoulder, your left ear down to the mat. So if this is more comfortable to have your head resting on a block or something here, totally fine. You want to keep your hips even or about square, so the twist is more in your torso. We'll get more into that as we go on in our practice. On your next inhale, come on out of this, bring both hands back to center, and then drop your hips back towards your heels, come to a child's pose. So any child's pose that you like or are familiar with is fine here, any variation. So our first child's pose, we're still getting into this practice. Then from here, reach your hands out in front of you and kind of make your hands like a little tense. Walk them forward, stretch through kind of your shoulders and through the sides of your bodies. As you, the side of your body, just singular. Both sides though. Reach your hands forward and then draw your shoulders back on your back. So your hands kind of tiptoe walk forward and your shoulders squeeze onto your back here. And then begin to walk your hands off to the right. Go for a little bit of a twist here. If it feels comfortable, you can drop your head down or keep your ears in line with your upper arms. And again, you want to keep your hips kind of where they are, right? So the movement's happening through your torso. Then walk your hands back to center. And we're going to walk them off to the other side. On your next inhale, make your way back to center. Come out of this child's pose, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, come to downward facing dog. So if you need to move or adjust here in down dog, now's your chance. Maybe bend through your heels, roll onto your toes, stretch through your feet, through your legs. Any way that feels good or necessary on your body here. And come forward to the top of plank pose. So bring your shoulders over your wrists. Maybe you need to readjust that stance, right? I always feel like I gotta kind of go a little bit longer here in plank pose. It's really an ideal stance for your down dog as well. Let's go ahead and lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck your toes. Little baby cobra, slide forward and up. Then tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Breathe here. Let's do one more like that. Come forward into plank pose. This time lower your knees, your chest, and your chin down to the mat. Slide forward and up, little baby cobra. Tuck your toes, lift up and back. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Come to a standing forward fold. And for this first one, take your feet about hips distance apart and bend your knees as much as you need to so your hands or your palms rest down on the mat. Maybe let your head hang heavy. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And on your inhale, reach your arms up overhead, look up, stretch up. Let's go right back into that forward fold. Bring your palms down to the mat. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to. Then bring your palms to your shins, look up, come to a flat back. Place your hands down on the mat, step to the top of plank pose. Lower knees, chest and chin down onto the mat. So you're in this kind of awkward inchworm pose with your booty sticking up in the air. No better way to describe it. Slide forward and up, little baby cobra. Draw your shoulders onto your back. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Breathe here. On your inhale, walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Come to a standing forward fold. If you'd like to bring your feet a little bit closer together and get a little bit of a deeper stretch through your hamstrings, go for it. As you inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale, fold forward once again. Bring your palms to shins, look up, flat back. Place your hands down on the mat. We're stepping to the top of plank pose. You can lower down knees, chest, chin, or if you're ready for a chaturanga, bend your elbows back behind you. Slide forward and up. Up dog or cobra. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Come back to that standing forward fold. As you inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale, bring them down by your side. Find Tadasana. So check in here. Let's all come to a Tadasana. So bring your big toes to touch. Create a little space between your heels. So your feet are kind of parallel with one another. Draw your belly in. Again, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Slide them down on your back and lift to the center of your chest. Then lift your toes up and maybe one at a time, see if you can place them down on the mat. Breathe here. So we'll do 3 more Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. It's a good warm up. Reach your arms up overhead. Exhale and fold. Also gets us nicely going in this flow. Bring your palms to shins, look up, lengthen. Place your hands down on the mat. Step to the top of plank pose. Your choice, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Slide forward and up. Then up and back for downward facing dog. Breathe here. On your inhale, look forward, walk forward. Come to our standing forward fold, your variation of it. As you inhale, reach your arms up overhead, and let's go right back into it. Fold forward. Bring your palms to shins, look up, flat back. Place your hands down on the mat, step to that top of plank pose. Again, your choice, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Slide forward and up for up dog or cobra. And tuck your toes, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. On your inhale, come forward to the top of your mat. You can walk, step, jump, fly, hop, skip, whatever you got. Take a forward fold here. As you inhale, reach your arms up overhead, look up, lengthen, then fold forward once again. This will be our last one of this little series here. Bring your palms to shins, look up, flat back. Place your hands down on the mat, step to the top of plank, lower down, lift up, and come to downward facing dog. Breathe here. All right, so take a look at what's going on with this shape that we're making right now. So I mentioned down dog counts as an inversion. Take a notice of where your heart is relative to your hips, right? You're gonna notice that your heart is below your hips. I'm sorry, well that is true too. But your head is below your heart, which is really what I'm going for. Oh boy. All right, you're in good hands. We have a good class, got a great show for you tonight. All right. So we're gonna twist here in down dog. Walk your hands in, maybe about a handprint and a half. Get a little bit shorter in this down dog, so you're kind of squishing it up. It's a short dog. And then take your right hand to the outer edge of your left leg.
You can bend your knees a little bit here if you need to. If you need to shorten your stance up a little bit more, go for it. Then keep your hips where they are. Twist and gaze up under your left shoulder. Untwist on that side, place your right hand back on the mat and twist the other way. So your left hand's coming to the outer edge of your right leg and kind of use that to get a little bit of a grip to sort of pull your torso underneath your right armpit. Untwist, unwind, come back to center, walk that down dog back out, reset, and then walk your feet forward to meet your hands, come back to that standing forward fold. So you inhale, reach your arms up overhead, look up, stretch up, and bring your hands down by your side. Find Tadasana, mountain pose. So I'm gonna reset up my foundation here, make sure my big toes touch, little space in between my heels. Then bend your knees, sit your hips down low so your fingertips just touch down on the mat. Reach your arms up alongside your ears for Utkatasana, chair pose. Draw your belly in, sit your hips back like you're sitting in the most useless and uncomfortable chair. Bring your palms to center of your chest. We're going for it right away. Twist, bring your left elbow outside of your right knee. Press your palms together and gaze up towards your top shoulder. Then untwist, unwind, straighten your legs, fold forward. If you want to go hips distance apart here, I'd recommend it. This time, take a hold of your big toe with your thumb and first two fingers. Then fold forward from here. So you can start with bent knees as much as you need to get a good grip on your big toes. From there, begin to straighten your legs. And if you're looking for still more fold, bend your elbows out to the side and fold your torso in towards your knees. Breathe here. See if you can even here, relax your shoulders away from your ears. Release the grip on your toes. Walk your feet back together. Once again, bend your knees, hips down low, touch your fingertips outside your pinky toes. Reach your arms up alongside your ears, Utkatasana, chair pose, second side. Breathe here. Bring your palms together at the center of your chest, and we're going to twist the other way. So bring your right elbow outside of your left knee, press your palms together, and twist. So check in with your knees actually here. Ooh. Check in with your knees. You want to make sure your knees are even because that's a good indication that your hips are even. Like I said before, we want to keep our hips even so the twist happens more in our torso. Breathe. Untwist, unwind, fold forward. Separate your feet, hips distance apart. Once again, maybe even a little bit wider. So you have the option of grabbing a hold of your big toe with your thumb and first two fingers once again. If you want to go a little bit deeper, lift your toes up, place your palm underneath so your toes just touch that wrist crease there. And again, start with bent knees. First work towards straightening your legs. Then you can bend your elbows out to the sides and fold forward. Either way, breathe here. On your next inhale, remove your hands. Bring your feet back to center. And let's do this. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Maybe move slowly with control. Bring your palms to the center of your chest and by your side. Tadasana, mountain pose. Start from that point again. So bend your knees, sit your hips down low, find Utkatasana, chair pose. Bring your palms together at the center of your chest, and we're gonna twist right
my gosh. We're gonna twist right. So bring your left elbow outside of your right knee. Either way, we're doing both sides. Put the confidence in your right leg, draw your belly, and use your belly for support here. Step your left leg back behind you. Just no drama. Right now we're here in this twisted lunge. Press your palms together, lift up through the center of your chest. See if you can get your thumbs more in line with the center of your chest rather than that top shoulder. Breathe here. And on your inhale, come on up. Reach your arms up overhead, so you're in this like runner's lunge. If you want to readjust, actually kind of a short stance here, readjust your stance, find a good runner's lunge shape, a nice standing pose. Relax your shoulders away from your ears, draw your belly in. Then from here, spin your left heel down on the mat, reach your arms out to the side, set up for warrior two. So again, if you need to readjust your stance or readjust your legs, go for it. Find your warrior two here. Draw your shoulders away from your ears, squeeze them towards each other, or reach your fingers out in opposite directions. Bend deep into your front knee. Then straighten your front leg. Reach towards the top of your mat. Place your bottom hand down to the floor, to a block, maybe to your ankle. Find your Trikonasana triangle pose. And any variation of it works here, but you want to be able to rest your bottom hand on something, and you want to make sure that something's not your knee. So go above or below your knee for support. On your inhale, come on back up. Bend back into your front knee. Bring your right forearm to your thigh. Reach your reach your left arm up and overhead for extended side angle. In the spirit, I guess, of being twisted, I've got my left and my right all twisted up today. Anyway, if you do one side, we're really just gonna follow it up with the other side. No big deal. On your inhale, come on back up. So we're coming out of this sort of the same way we came in. Reach your arms up overhead, turn, and see if you can come onto the ball of your back foot, bend into that front knee, find a runner's lunge shape, adjust if you need to. Then we're going for this kind of weird, awkward twist. So you're gonna bring your left arm forward, your right arm back, and gaze over your right shoulder. Don't forget about that bend in the front knee. You're welcome to stay here, or if you can easily rest your back hand on your back leg. You want to add a little bit of a back bend here, right? Get that backwards element in this practice. Lift up through the center of your chest and breathe. Untwist, unwind, come back to center. Place your hands on either side of your front foot. Step back to the top of plank pose. Move through this little vinyasa sequence. Come forward into plank, lower down, lift back up, and back to downward facing dog. Breathe here. So a pose like down dog, or even some of our standing forward folds, are very familiar to us despite the fact that they are technically these upside down poses. Walk your feet forward to meet your hands, standing forward fold. As you inhale, reach your arms up overhead and bring them down by your side. Start with that chair pose here, so bring your fingertips down to touch the mat and reach your arms up alongside your ears. Draw your belly in, sit your hips down low. Then bring your palms to center. We're going to twist to the left, so bring your right elbow outside of your left knee, or in any case, do the opposite side as the one you did before. Squeeze your legs together, draw your belly in, and twist. Then put your confidence in your left leg, lift your right leg up, then step it back behind you. So now, same shape in the upper body, different shape in the lower body. You're here in a twisted lunge. Untwist, unwind, come on up to stand, reach your arms alongside your ears. If you need to readjust the stance, find your runner's lunge here. Go for it. So here your hips are squared towards the front of your mat. Take a moment to set that up, notice that. Then we're gonna do the opposite. Spin your little right heel down onto the mat. I caught myself. Reach your arms out in opposite directions. Find Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. So here your hips are open towards the short side. I'm sorry, the long side of your mat. Oh boy. Oh jeez, all right. Warrior 2. Now straighten the front leg. Reach towards the top of your mat. Place your bottom hand down, make contact with something that isn't your knee. And reach your top arm up towards the ceiling. If it feels okay on your neck, you can gaze up. If not, it might be more comforting or even better for your balance if you gaze down towards the floor. On your inhale, come on back up. Bend deep into that front knee. Bring your left forearm to your thigh. Reach your right arm up and overhead for extended side angle. So here in extended side angle, press from the pinky edge of your back foot, reach all the way out to the fingertips of your right hand. So you're creating that one long line through the side of your body. It's actually a great stretch for the side of your body, which we're doing a lot of twisting for. So these kind of poses make for a nice counter. On your inhale, come on back up. We're gonna come back to that runner's lunge shape. Sort of coming out of this similar to the way we came in. So readjust, find your runner's lunge, and then twist. Right arm forward, left arm back. If it feels okay and you want to gaze back towards your left arm, complete the twist. Check in with that front knee, make sure you're still bending deep and you haven't lost the bend in your front knee. If you want to add a little bit of a back bend, rest your left hand on your right thigh, reach your right arm up. Awesome. Come on back up to center. Bring your hands on either side of your front foot. Step back to the top of plank pose. Move through a vinyasa. You can always skip it and maybe some down dog. You can always take a child's pose as well. On your next inhale, look forward, walk forward, come back to a standing forward fold. On your inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, bring them down by your side. So from here, lift your right leg up. Step your right foot in front of your left so the pinky edges of your feet are touching here. Keep your hips square towards the front of your mat. And you're gonna bend at your hips and fold forward. So blocks can be helpful here if you have them, or any kind of makeshift block substitute works as well. It's kind of hard to bend your knees to get closer in this one. So we want to kind of keep the legs as straight as possible. Rest your hands on something, or worst case, hover them, and make sure your belly is engaged here, especially if it's just your feet down on the mat. And breathe. On your inhale, reach your arms up overhead and bring them down by your side. So let's just cross the legs the other way, simple. Move on to the second side. So this time, left leg in front of right, and your pinky toes come to touch. Lower go. You can do a whole swan dive there. I recommend it, but it might be easier to start with your hands on your hips. Bend at your hips, fold forward, come back to this standing forward fold with a good quad stretch, or calf stretch here. Pretty much any word I say, assume it's the opposite. It's almost impressive how much I've screwed these two up today. Left, right, up, down, in, out, side by side. All right, on your inhale, come on up out of this pose, reach your arms up and down by your side. This time let's go like hips distance apart, actually even a little bit wider. And I find it helpful to turn my toes out on an angle. And bend your knees, sit your hips down low. We're gonna come to a Malasana yogi squat. So for this, start by pressing your palms together.
press your arms into your legs, squeeze your legs back into your arms, draw your belly in, and lift through the center of your chest. On your inhale, step back up, fold forward. So we're gonna go back into that yogi squat and add a little bit of a twist here. So bend your knees, hips down low, palms to center. Find your stability here. You're welcome to stay here and keep this pose centered, or reach your left arm out to down to the mat or down to the floor, out to the left. Reach your right arm up. You got great balance here and you got the bind. Go for it and take it. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. I know what I'm talking about, but I topple over when I attempt it, so I think I've embarrassed myself enough for one yoga video today. Palms back to center. You're welcome to take, Alice, I'll do it. Take a stretch, straighten your legs, fold forward, let it go, maybe shimmy through the legs. Now let's bend our knees, sit back down, settle back into that squat. We're gonna do the second side. Right arm out behind you, lift your left arm up, twist. Come back to center, palms to center, straighten your legs, and fold forward. Heel toe or walk your feet back in towards one another. And on your inhale, reach your arms up overhead, look up, stretch up, and bring your arms down by your side. Let's start with tree pose, Vrikshasana. So lift your right leg up. Bring the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. You can also go left calf. You can even go left ankle with little cheater toes. Either above or below your knee is kind of my only prerequisite. Bring your palms together. Breathe here. You want to reach your arms up overhead. Treat your arms like they're branches. Mine go way into this glowing light. That's just fabulous. I don't even know where did my wrist go. All right, bring your palms back to center. Bring the knee forward so your foot's gonna leave your leg. Tip your torso forward, reach your leg back behind you. Reach your arms to the side and find airplane pose. So keep your hips even here, squared with one another. Draw your belly and use your belly for support. Reach that back leg up, flex your back foot and point your toes down towards the mat. Then bring your hands down to the mat so you can fold forward, treat it like a forward fold with that back leg lifted for standing split. And then with control, step your back leg back on the mat. I'm gonna readjust here. Find that high runner's lunge. Spin your back heel down for a warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Reach up and back. It's like a reverse triangle here, right? Stretch through that side of your body. Then back into your front knee. Again, bring forearm to thigh. Reach your right arm up and overhead for extended side angle. And then see here, so draw your belly in and reach your other arm up like you're holding a giant beach ball, but keep that extended side angle element of this pose. You got it. And come on up to stand, arms by your side. All right, so let's readjust the feet. Bring your feet so they are parallel to one another. And you get a good wide-legged stance. Start this one with your hands on your hips. Bend at your hips, fold forward, place your hands down on the mat. So stay here. I'm going to back up just a little bit so you get a better view. There you go. So now I'm more on my mat here. But you want to have your wrists right underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. And a little bend in your knees. Spin your inner thighs back behind you. Get a good wide-legged forward fold here. Then take your right hand, place it directly underneath your face, so it's going to move in maybe about a handprint. Keep your hips where they are, so there's a lot of wiggle room here in the hips. You want to keep your hips stable, keep them where they are, draw your belly in, lift your left arm up and twist. So in this twisted, wide-legged forward fold, but watch where the hips are doing. They want to follow the twist. Really got to resist against it. Breathe. Untwist, unwind. You're just going to swap hands. So your left hand's going to go underneath your face, right where your right hand was, and lift your right hand up. Twist the other way. Again, check in with your hips. They're going to want to swing to the right. Pull them back to center. Twist through your torso. Untwist, unwind, come back to center, walk your hands forward, pivot on your feet, come back to downward facing dog, top of plank pose type situation. So we'll move through a little vinyasa here, makes for a nice rinse cycle to our practice, and we'll be back in downward facing dog. And then walk your feet forward to meet your hands, standing forward fold. So you inhale, reach your arms up overhead, look up, stretch up, and exhale, bring them down by your side. You're gonna set up for tree pose on the second side. Lift your left leg up, sole of your left foot to your right inner thigh. You can also go calf or ankle. Bring your palms together, breathe here. Your arms up overhead, maybe grow your branches, got it. And bring your knee back to center. I'm gonna actually bring my palms back to center here. You're gonna little bend in your standing leg as you tip your torso forward, reach that left leg out long behind you. Draw your belly in, point your toes down towards the mat. And if you'd like to, reach your arms alongside your body. Strong core, strong belly here. You wanna really pretend your belly's like what's holding up your back leg. Breathe. Then go ahead, bring your hands down on the mat, lift that back leg up for standing split. Step your back leg back on the mat, sit up for that high lunge, that runner's lunge. Spin your back heel down on the mat, reach your arms out in opposite directions, find warrior two. Straighten your front leg, reach up and back, find reverse warrior. So again, your bottom hand is just resting slightly on that back leg. Use your belly and your core for support here. Come on, back up. Then back into your front leg, forearm to thigh. Reach your left arm up and overhead. Find extended side angle, second side. On your inhale, come on back up. So you want to, again, walk your feet in a little bit. Make them parallel to one another so both toes are pointing in the same direction. And then we're coming into this wide-legged forward fold. So go ahead and fold forward. And again, start with maybe you're checking out where your hands are, maybe your wrists underneath your shoulders. Draw your belly in and see if you can use those belly muscles to maybe pull you in a little bit more. Or where my belly muscles have gone, but I'm gonna find them, right? So you're welcome to do the variation we did before with the one palm underneath your face, the other arm lifted. You want to go a little bit deeper in this twist, and still we got to be mindful of what's going on in the hips. You can take your right hand to the outer edge, the pinky edge of your left foot, or even your left calf. So hold it to the left leg, or again, right hand underneath your face. Lift your left arm up and twist. So whatever variation you're taking, you want to make sure the hips stay centered. The hips are not going to be what's twisting here. We want the torso to twist. If you'd like to, gaze up towards your top hand. Untwist, unwind, come back to center. Second side, so you're going to bring your left hand to the outer edge of your right foot, or even hold onto your right calf, really wherever you feel most comfortable, wherever you get the best grip, or feels, I don't know, like the way your body parts fit together the best, I guess. You can always go with the palm underneath your face too for a little more open twist. If you got a good grip, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling and gaze up. Again, you're keeping your hips centered here. You might want to follow the twist. Perfectly natural. We want to resist against that. Find the muscles through our belly, through our torso to twist a little bit deeper. Untwist, unwind, come back to center. Turn on your feet, walk your hands forward, frame out your front foot, step back, move through vinyasa. You're welcome to take a child's pose here, or take a couple breaths here in downward facing dog. Alright, on your next inhale, let's actually move through one last, most likely final vinyasa. So come forward into plank, lower down, slide forward and up, and then back to downward facing dog. Awesome work. I always like to make sure the last one's kind of marked so we all get it in if we want to. Come to kneel, come to hands and knees. You're welcome to kind of face any which way on your mat here. I'm actually going to turn sideways just because it works better for the camera. And my knees are especially fussy today. So I've got a folded up blanket here. Any blanket will work. Grab the one off your couch nearby. So let's see. All right, so I got this knee down on the mat. Let's go with the left leg down, right leg out to the side. And the trick is to have the blade edge of your foot. So your whole foot's down on the mat and the pinky edge, that blade edge of your foot, is down as well. So it's kind of like what we do in, say, Warrior 2 with that back leg. This is gatekeeper pose. And then on the left side, your toes can be tucked or untucked. Tucked might feel like you got a little more grip. Kind of totally your choice. So start with even hips. So your hips are centered, right? Then reach your left arm up. You're just gonna kind of like walk your right arm down your leg. Go for this side bend. So similar, right? Stretch the extended side angle where we're stretching through the long side of our body here. And then again, that bottom hand's just lightly resting. Oh, so I forgot this variation on the other side, right? But you can lift your arms up like you're holding a giant beach ball. And breathe. On your inhale, come back up to center, release your arms. Simple swap your legs here. So you have your left knee down on the mat, reach your right knee down on the mat, or your opposite knee down on the mat, or literally the thing I did not just say. Oh man. And your left leg, or whatever leg, or an arm, out to the side. And again, the bent knee can be toes tucked, toes untucked, whatever you got. Rest your left hand on your left leg, reach your right arm up, and go for that side bend. So we're gonna repeat this pose, right? Because you might get a different angle or kind of see what's going on in this pose depending on kind of how I show it here. This one's might be a little less familiar. But breathe. And again, we're stretching through the long side of your body, so you want to twist and lift the center of your chest up towards the ceiling. And if you want to grab that imaginary beach ball, that's your true test, right? If you're really leaning into that bottom arm, or if it's just kind of resting there. Come back up to center, release your arms. In my case, swap the blanket and go back to the first side. Again, play if you want the left toes here, tucked or untucked. Maybe do the opposite, see if you feel a little bit different. Right hand on your right leg, lift your left arm up, and side bend. On your inhale, come on back up to center, switch sides. Right knee on the mat,
Left leg straight out with the pinky edge of your foot making contact. So foot's not up, all of your foot is down on the mat, or in my case, the floor right here. Reach your arms up, side bend. Maybe we'll add the side bend first. If you want to drop that bottom hand down, go for it. Similar shape, right? You can do it with a little bit of rest through the bottom arm, or hold that imaginary beach ball. Breathe. On your inhale, come on back up. Release your arms. Come to sit, make your way to sit on your mat. You can move the blanket out of your way, unless you want it for something else, but me, it was just for my, my knobby knees there. All right, so let's start with just a simple seated forward fold here. Bring your feet about hips distance apart, reach your arms up, bend at your hips, fold forward. Relax your shoulders onto your back. Relax your eyes, relax the space between your eyebrows, and relax your jaw. It's less about how far forward or how straight your legs are, and more just about folding forward into yourself here. On your inhale, come on back up. Lift your right leg up. Step your right foot down on the mat, and then cross it over your left. Sound effects are a bonus. So left leg is straight, or you want to bend your left leg so your left leg comes back by your right hip. You got it. So bottom leg can be straight like this, or bottom leg can be bent back behind you. And either way, you got one knee bent and up. So in this case, it's our right leg. So lift your left arm up and twist so you hook your left elbow outside of your right knee. Right hand is just kind of back behind you. A little bit of support. Lift up to the center of your chest, and that's the big thing, and twist. Gaze over your back shoulder. Breathe here. Untwist, unwind, come back to center. Keep the legs. Just a little counterbalance. We're just going to the left side of our body, both hands down on the mat, counter twist, rather. And just a gentle little twist, right? Nothing special, nothing fancy. Come back to center. Switch your legs. So straighten them out again. I'll show you how to tangle them up once again, right? Like everything else today. So you're going to bend your left leg, then step your left foot outside of your right leg. Again, the right leg can stay straight and long, or if you prefer, fold it back behind you. Doesn't change much of the pose. It's a little bit maybe different through the hips here, but we're getting more on the stretch as well here. So start by lifting up through the center of your chest. Lift your right arm up. You're going to hook your right elbow outside of your left knee. Left hand back behind you. Again, lift up to the center of your chest like you're wringing out a towel, right? You first pull it straight, and then you twist. To create that length through the spine, and then twist. Maybe add the breath. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale and twist. On your next inhale, come back to center. Little counter twist, so you're just bringing your hands down to the mat on the right side of your body. Just a gentle little twist, right? Nothing fancy. Untwist, unwind, come back to center. Straighten both legs out. So come back like we did to the start of this, to our seated forward fold. And then, like we did in tree pose, lift your right leg, bring the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. And here, my foot is touching the inner thigh. And then twist slightly so your belly button is facing more towards your big toe. Reach your arms up and fold forward. Grab a hold of your foot, ankle, calf, or thigh. Again, whatever you kind of easily can reach, doesn't matter. It's really more about the forward fold and the stretch through your left leg here. And on your inhale, come on back up. You're probably fine where you are. I'm going to shift just slightly so you can kind of see a little bit better what's going on here. So instead of having the foot right against your inner thigh, you're going to separate it out a little bit so your heel is more in line with your belly button. So this time kind of your torso, your hips are facing towards your heel in whatever orientation to your mat is. It doesn't so much make a difference here. Still your left leg's out long. Rest your left hand on your left leg, reach your right arm up, and go for that side bend.
So any variation with that top arm works. Sometimes if you get enough space, you can bring it down inside. And you really want to work on even the twist here, right? So we're lengthening, but there's also that twist. So twist and lift the center of your chest up towards the ceiling as you create that great big length through the side of your body. If you have a strap handy and you want to hook it around your foot, that's fine, but we're not going to play too long here. On your inhale, come on, back up. Awesome. Let's do the other side. So start with our seated forward fold. Then bend your bend your left leg. I'll stand a chance today. Bend your other leg, the one we didn't just do. And like we did for tree pose, sole of your foot to your right inner thigh. Reach your arms up and fold forward. Keep that right foot flexed so that's your toes pulling back towards your hips. Not a floppy foot, but a flex foot. Floppy foot, flex foot. And breathe. On your inhale, come on back up. And again, you might be fine here to just open up that left foot slightly, maybe shift a little bit, but really the goal is to get your belly button and your heel pointing in the same direction, and we're gonna keep that orientation. Bring your right hand maybe to the inner edge of your right leg, or you'd even rest on your right leg. Put your left arm up and overhead, and go for the side bend. Now if your foot's right there, and you wanna grab it, that's fine. It can kind of give you something to sort of twist against. But like I said, not super necessary. If there's a space, if there's a gap, that works as well. Breathe here. On your inhale, come on back up. Straighten both legs out in front of you and lie back on your back. So we'll start with both knees bent here. Let's actually take a quick bridge pose. We didn't do too much with back bends, but we'll throw one in here for good measure. Lift your hips up, interlace your hands underneath your low back. Squeeze or walk your shoulders in towards each other, and then lift those hips up high. Release your hands, lower your butt. Slide your hips off to the left, drop your knees to the right. Simple spinal twist here, reclined spinal twist. So you can maybe bring your arms out to a T, you can bend your elbows like cactus arms. Any arm variation works, but gaze over your left shoulder, so your opposite shoulder. If your knees are going right, gaze left. Bring your legs back up to center. Bring your hips back to center. Drop them the other way. So your hips slide right, knees go left. Gaze over your right shoulder. Bring your knees back up to center. Then do a hip stretch here. So lift your right leg up, cross your right ankle below your left knee. So you make this like little triangle shape with your legs. Reach your right hand through that triangle, interlace behind your left calf or left thigh. Pick your favorite variation and breathe here. So this is kind of a nice reclined hip stretch. It gives us a lot of customization here in how much stretch we want. So the more you flex your feet, the more you pull your legs in towards your body, the deeper the stretch you may feel in your hips. Release your legs, switch sides. So your left ankle below your right knee. Reach your left hand through the triangle, interlace behind your right calf or even right thigh. Breathe here. Release this side. Then bend your legs out to the side, reach in between your legs, grab a hold of the pinky edges of your feet, find happy baby. It could feel nice to maybe gently rock side to side, give a little massage on the low back. Then if there's any final movements or any last poses you would like to make here on your back, I usually like to curl into a ball. If there's anything you would like to complete your practice, now is your time to take it. When you're ready for Shavasana, our final relaxation, extend your feet out towards the corners of your mat. Bring your arms by your side and face your palms up towards the ceiling. So Shavasana is our final relaxation, and I invite you to take a few moments here in the stillness and the quiet that our practice may have created here on your back. Or if you would prefer to join me in a simple seated pose, that would work as well. So this is your moment, right, to enjoy kind of all that space, all that twisting that our practice may have jostled loose, right? Enjoy that stillness, and I'll keep track of the time. On your next inhale, take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. Maybe if you're in Shavasana and you want to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, bring some movement back to your body. When you're ready, roll onto your right side. And press your hands down into the mat. Press yourself up and come to a comfortable seated position. Close your eyes and bring your palms together. We'll seal off our practice with the sound of one Om. Inhale. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your patience as I figured out which one was my left and which was my right. And stay tuned for more offerings live and pre-recorded from Nava Yoga. Thank you.